Roundtable fam, we back with another reaction video. Today we're reacting to TG, the biggest slime in Dallas. Roundtable family, right now we currently at like 1,785 subscribers, something like this. So we getting closer and closer to 1,800. And we might hit it tonight. So I want to go ahead and say thank y'all for that. But let's get to the video. TG, the biggest slime in Dallas.
This video is for educational documentary purposes only. It is meant to provide an authoritative news reporting narrative of historic events that have occurred presented in a journalistic context.
Envy, money, betrayal, all things that when mixed together will never have a great outcome. Being conniving in the streets will bring either good or bad, no in between. In today's video, we will take a look into the most captivating story in Dallas drill. The most hated guy in Dallas. TG, the biggest slime, Dallas. Tavarius Robinson, or TG, was born.
I want to say this though. TG is, he said he the most hated. I know TG do get mentioned. Pepe get mentioned. Say get mentioned. And K-Man or Jizzle get mentioned like a motherfucker. But really, the most is somebody, K-Man the most. Second would probably be Quay. I think that's who had got on the couch. TG, I ain't gonna put him top 3 who get this the most. You say Mika. Yeah.
On March 29th, 2003 in Denver, Colorado. A city that has very similar gang culture as Los Angeles, a fact that will come into the question later in the story. The Denver gang culture is almost one of one with LA's blood and Crip politics, so identical that the city has adopted their accent and style of lingo as well. Growing up in Denver, TG would be said to be a curious child, always wondering this, wanting to do this, be involved in that. He wanted to be the life of the party, the one you always knew or heard about. In 2011, at the age of 8, TG would move to Dallas, Texas, specifically the rough and grimy streets of Highland Hills. Here, TG would begin to witness the reality of poverty, ingraining a deep determination.
And let me say this though, cause I don't remember your name, bro, but I do remember that you texted me. You told me from the hills. You said y'all fuck with my shit out there, so shout out to the hills in Dallas. But the story that I heard is that TG, like he from the hills, like he fuck with the hills. Cause Rundown 4, this the confusing part about it, or what kind of like glue shit together at the same time. So somebody said, whether it was in the documentary or one of y'all told me, TG was like playing in the middle, playing both sides, some shit like that, and got backdoored by his own people. That I guess he technically was backdooring, or just really not following along with the politics or whatever the fuck was going on. But it can be confusing because they just said he from the hills, which would be 10K, 5K, and PCE. You feel me? But y'all, you get what I'm saying? I think
to make something of himself, no matter what it took. During this time, him and his family would go back and forth to Denver. Come 2016, they come back to Dallas. While visiting a relative in Mesquite, his mom's niece would introduce him to Commandra Tucker, aka Snoop. The two would click instantly. With the two becoming so inseparable, TG would run away from home to hang with Snoop for an entire month. Now, Snoop, along with his brother Mark, would move to Oak Cliff, the Ewing Villas townhomes, only 3 minutes from the Dallas Zoo. This would also be the location where the infamous Jug Team ex-Global Gang was formed. With notable members such as Snoop, Mark, Bori, and Fat Daddy, Jug Team would begin rapping and becoming active in the streets. Being from Oak Cliff,
it's in Jug, but it's Jug.
A young set of teens would beef with other Oak Cliff gangs like the Highland Hills Gang OTG, or Only the Glizzies, ATM, LA, a gang from the Grove and the Cliff, with their most known member being the now incarcerated rapper.
That shit just confused the shit out of me. Hold on. Maybe
The
I'm
young
wrong.
set of teens would beef with other Oak Cliff gangs like the Highland Hills gang OTG, or only the Glizzies, ATM, LA, a gang from the Grove and the Cliff, with their most known member being the now incarcerated rapper LA Bori. Drilla Gang, a Mesquite-based gang that fallen OTG member Fazo Glizzy used to be a part of, under the name Stretch M Drilla, as well as FMG or Fly Money Gang, a collection of different hoods as one which once included the biggest crash out, EBK Cyrac, for a short period of time. Throughout 2017-2018, Jug Team and their biggest ops OTG and ATM would be at war in the streets of Dallas. From shootouts to diss songs, the beef was definitely raging. TG himself would also be very passionate for music around this time, dropping a few notable songs such as his melodic vocal style track Gang Shit, featuring Snoopy.
I be on a whole lot of games. I be on a whole lot of games.
In his infamous Gummo remix. However, behind the scenes, all of the work being put in wasn't being appreciated by all of the Jug Team members. Mark, being the blood brother of Snoopa, is actually said to not really be that fond of TG, with some speculating he was actually jealous of the close bond TG and Snoop shared. Mainly being because Mark and Snoop were actually related through blood, and TG was just a dude from Denver that Snoop met and started to hang around. Despite TG, 14 at the time, being a very active member in the group, other Jug Team members would share the same attitude as Mark, showing less and less respect towards TG, since to them he wasn't a true member because he was from out of town and they didn't know him for that long. Jug Team would suffer a saddening loss when one of their very beloved members, Corey Carson or Fat Daddy, would pass away at the age of 17 in a car wreck. This wouldn't be the first crippling loss the group would suffer. While being a true savage in the streets will bring you respect and a name, it also brings the unexpected, which is exactly what happened on August 16, 2018, when Commandra Tucker, better known as Snoopa, was shot and unalived during a home invasion. This death would prove to be what most people say was the downfall of the group. Making it even worse, TG was locked up during this time, being told the news by his mom over the jail phone. After Snoope passed, this is when T is said to have lost motivation for music and would begin to distance himself from Jug Team members. Since Snoope was now gone, the other Jug Team members didn't have a reason to have Tej around. This would be solidified after Tej wanted to do music with a member of Drilla Gang. Members like Mark and Luke wouldn't like this. Tej didn't care, and still did the music, so Jug Team would cut ties with TG altogether. The death of Snoop was detrimental for TG, setting the beginning of the TG that Dallas would be.
I had to pause it because this a whole lot of shit that I ain't know nothing about. I heard about the TG dude, never heard of Mark, never heard of Snoop or Snoop. I know it's Snoop. It's just the way that they're pronouncing it because of the AI or the translator shit, the voiceover shit. I don't know, like it's. I guess I'm kind of seeing maybe where like the original story that I was told and where this like where they collide. I guess because if the Snoop dude is out of the picture, then they don't have a reason to back up the TD dude. So, and then him wanting to do music with somebody else that they don't fuck with, that they're not cool with.
Become all too familiar with. Sliming, backdooring, to go behind someone's back to rob or even unalive them for monetary gain or just moving fishy. Something that should be noted in the mind of TJ. To him, none of these people were his people. After losing Snoop, TG would begin to lose morals and loyalty for anyone. Coming from Denver, where the gang culture is synonymous with LA, TG looked at all of these other groups as just cliques. He didn't care about the street aspect of the group. As far as he was concerned, he was only loyal to himself. Becoming so disloyal, getting backdoor tattooed on his face.
I want to say this though. If if the Mark dude felt some kind of way about TG and Snoop relationship before anything happened, before Snoop was unalive, if they already felt like it was already an issue, then once the only piece that's binding and keeping the peace is gone, out here gonna break loose like it did. But not even, cause I'm trying to, you know, I'm seeing where the story going. I don't really blame the dude TG. I mean, far as for his safety, I'm thinking maybe he, you know, set up one of the dudes. But it's like, shit, them niggas don't fuck with me anyway, type shit. You know what I'm saying? And now Bro gone. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the reason to be loyal to these niggas never fuck with me anyway. But at the same time, they just probably knew too much about
TG had developed a mentality where only the people around him could better his life. He would target any clique in the city that had a name. Any group that was popping, turned, or lit around the city, he wanted to surround himself with them, get close to them, and when the time was right, he would take them down, robbing them for any money, drugs, or guns that they were carrying or moving. Being locked up from 2018 to 2022, TG would miss a lot, choosing.
And see, like, what Bert's saying is when dude trying to get around all these different people, and then, you know, he eventually just trying to set them up, and he just baking their ass a cake. He just creating enemies from all over. So, you know, to determine how his story go, it could have been different cliques and shit like that involved with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure they got his ass up out of there.
To go back to his home of Denver, Colorado. This is where he would join the Piru set, Park Hill Piru Bloods, rapping with members under the stage name Bougie Roo. This is the same group that he would catch a case with in 2022, allegedly using stolen information to purchase luxury vehicles, never paying for them. Joining the Pirus would change the way TG viewed gangs on another level. Since LA gangs, you had to be formally jumped in, unlike Dallas gangs where you could just join if you said you were down for it. He didn't take Dallas groups seriously, only looking at them as weenies that he could infiltrate and take over whatever they were involved in. Once TG came back to Dallas, he had his eyes set his target. FBG, the Crip set from 4 Deuce in South Dallas. Gunna was hanging around them a lot, being...
You know what? I mean, all of this is just speculation and bro trying to pull together whatever he see on social media and shit like that. And maybe you do got 1 or 2 inside sources. But if this was his play, if this was his angle, right? You know, just peep everything, see everything, understand the infrastructure, and then penetrate it. I fuck with that. I ain't gonna cap. I like thinking, you know. I like that shit.
Seen at functions with them as well as pics together. He even attended the funeral of fallen FBG member Fats, who he would start dissing shortly after he parted ways with the group. Something that has to be stated as well is the fact that, unsurprisingly, Strizzy, a top member of FBG, was already on his trails. Seeing the plot early on, but being held off by other FBG members who didn't want to go with the move, taking a great liking into T's. See, TG wasn't shy about his character of being a grimy person. He actually took pride in being someone who didn't show loyalty to anyone. He was always looking for an opportunity, a chance. This is supported by one of his most famous situations. TG is known to have known a lot of people. He was seen and known to be with almost every clique in Dallas. He could even be seen with top stretch gang member number 7. This relationship was said to be very close. This would explain why TG would slime popular Arlington rapper OG Maine, or now Meezy Maine, who made a song with number 7's op BFG Strap in early 2021. In 2022, shortly after shooting the music video to his song Crash Out, TG would pull a bold move, robbing Meezy Maine for all of the guns he had in the video only 2 days later. Even going on Instagram Live bragging about it, where he can be seen with the same MAC-10 styled gun seen by Meezy Maine on his profile, dissing FBG and Sniper Gang.
you talking about? Nigga, yeah. Yeah. Free the ops so we can smoke them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was just, from what they saying, let's say this shit in the documentary is correct. From what they saying, Buddy was smart as fuck. He just was, he wasn't humble. When I say that, like, okay, like, first of all, he don't really have no backing with nobody because of how he moving. A friend of all is a friend of none. Remember that. All right, so he don't have no backing. A friend of all is a friend of none. But like him being so smart and peeping so much shit, that was his downfall too, because he see he can work his move on a nigga, and just cause he can work the move, he worked it. Sometimes just chill, like just, you know what I'm saying? Like just know you got the ups if you need it, if you want it, but just leave that where it's at, because all the shit he doing, he just creating all these unnecessary enemies that eventually probably came to his demise. You know what I'm saying?
I backed on my mama, nigga.
Oh God, nigga, what you talking about? Nigga, King Snake. Back up, gang, I'm King Snake. Cross the route, still a back of cake. What?
TG clearly was determined to take anyone down. If you had what he wanted, he was on you. He wanted to be known as the biggest snake, the top slime. In 2023, TG would start doing business in the East. Him and another rapper, Kato Rivers, better known as FBG Murda, would be making a name in the city. Coming up overnight from fake check scams, seemingly being turned and flashing big stacks of money on social media. TG would diss one of their members, Man, for allegedly snitching on the news when he was a kid after being grazed by a bullet in a now-deleted Instagram freestyle.
And I say that shit again, you just gonna make me mad. My niggas in the field, out in that field, why would you get past? I'm sick of seeing niggas in the
No, flush him. Listen, I know he's deceased, and I don't know what side he belonged to, whatever side he do belong to. Condolences to y'all. But that nigga can't rap. I peeped that. You go back and look at my facial expressions. I peeped that the first time they had a clip of that nigga rapping. What I be telling y'all? Listen. I be telling y'all this shit, and I don't think y'all be feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But the niggas who really be doing shit, who always doing some shit, they can't rap, bro. I swear to God, they can't. It's like, listen to him rap. Listen to him rap.
Now deleted Instagram freestyle.
And I say that shit again, you just gonna make me mad. My niggas in the field, out in that field, why would you get past? I'm sick of seeing niggas in the mall walking with no bag. Fuck you asking if you got it with your bro. Nigga, I'll make this bitch a brute, this a real shit. You know that nigga name and what's that boy a real sneak?
He would also...
He did so much shit, he having a hard time getting that shit out. That's why I be telling y'all, niggas who really be doing that shit, they can't rap. I swear God, it be the niggas that was around, and they did a little shit, but it wasn't too much shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, nigga might have seen some shit, did some shit one time, went and sat down for a little while, came back and focused on the music and was good to the motherfucker from that point on. I'm telling y'all, I swear to God. So God, it's a anomaly, you know what I'm saying? It's an outlier that you get a nigga like King Von. Facts. It would probably never be another King Von. I swear. Especially a nigga that can do that shit and don't really do no time for it, for real. Like, if he was still alive, he was going to jail. But, you know what I'm saying? Just saying. I ain't gonna cap. I don't know Buddy. Again, don't know his folks. No disrespect to his folks. I know Brady did. But I feel like this nigga was a dick rider at the same time too though. Like, I get that he had a like a motive behind a lot of the shit he was doing. But like, I don't know, but see at the same time, I kind of blame the niggas who was letting this nigga get close to them. Like, if I just seen you with these niggas and these niggas, and now I see you with these niggas and these niggas, like, you just keep jumping from click to click. I personally would find a friend always a friend none. I personally would peep that shit and would not let you be around me. Cause there's some, you feel me? That's just common sense shit. So some of these niggas, they
to
was just
diss
green
their
as
fallen
fuck.
member, Hank, who was unalived in 2021. TG would take notice to Kato's come up, deciding OTS would be his next target. He would stop dissing Hank, thinking that OTS members wouldn't rep for him. However, he wasn't aware of the plot that would unfold at hand. OTS, being aware of Gunna's grimy past and his reputation for being a snake, would be all too prepared to accept TG as one of their own, devising a plan to take TG down before he could get them. July 4th comes around. TG and OTS members, Mula, Kato, and Man all drop matching photos for the 4th of July, with Kato and Yakuza allegedly wearing the same thing as TG, just with different colored shorts on. TG would post his last picture, him sitting at his mom's kitchen with a disrespectful caption dissing fallen OTG member Jizzle and ATM
I remember
member
this shit.
10K.
I don't like when they had the pictures and shit of bro. I didn't remember his face, but I do remember seeing this outfit. I remember this outfit, this picture. I remember this shit. And I don't know if bro gonna read this shit, but he said, just do one back smoking 10K out of black with some drink in my cup, about to roll up Jizzle, pray I don't OD. Elf the 4th. Fuck. But he died recently though. That's what's throwing me off with this shit, is the fact that he actually died recently, versus me thinking that it's been some time away and it really hasn't.
Lil Winford. A fact that is crazy considering TG grew up with some OTG members, including the infamous Ball Out Glizzy. Despite who he dissed, TG wouldn't return home that night, last being seen with his apparent OTS gang members. Unfortunately, TG wouldn't be found until July 6th in an alley in East Dallas. News of his passing would surprise the city, with multiple sides laughing and mocking his passing. But what happened to him? As stated before, TG and OTS didn't have the best record. TG had already dissed a beloved member, as well as mocked another respected member for allegedly snitching, something that is never acceptable in the streets.
See, that's the shit. See, hold on, bro. Remember, I don't know what video it was, but I was like, bro, in the streets, bro, like, you cannot beat the streets, bro. Bro, that little nigga, at that point, like, trying to use that little nigga let me go back, bro. Y'all gotta see this shit, bro. This shit. Trying to use this clip right here and trying to, like, debunk or discredit a nigga and what he could or couldn't be doing in the streets. I feel like that shit lame as fuck. Like, on some funny shit, but to really be trying to discredit a nigga, bro, at this age, he ain't even started puberty. Like, that little nigga, he, in his head, cause I think about it, as a kid, bro, at one point, you don't even know y'all broke. You just know the life y'all live, and you really won't know until you get older and be able to really compare y'all life to other people, for real. You know what I'm saying? This little nigga not knowing that years later he gonna be in the streets and be a pistol tone ass nigga. He don't know that shit, bro. This nigga got this ugly ass mohawk, like,
or allegedly snitching,
kid, bro.
Something that is
Bro,
never
that's
acceptable
bullshit
in the streets. So for OTS, they had to get him gone. They knew it wouldn't be easy, so they had.
And dude, and the TG nigga, he dumb as fuck. Like some people so slow they think they smart. Like, it's like, I personally, right? I wouldn't diss a nigga dead or just violate a nigga too crazy and then think I'm supposed to trust him with my life, be around this nigga, anything like that. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? That don't make no sense at all. Then not only like the little social media shit, let's say he called dude a snitch or whatever, okay, cool. But this they did? And still want to click up with these niggas and act like you didn't do that shit?
Had to be strategic. A week earlier, Yakuza would attempt to take him out, but the plan didn't go so well, so they had to call it off. They would, however, trade guns, giving him a tech. This tech, however, would knowingly not shoot. It was guaranteed to jam. This is the same tech that you see on the counter in his last photo. On the 4th of July, they had the plan set to match outfits with him to lure him in. They would all post that day. At the end of the day, they would go to a hood in East Dallas. There, Mula, Man, and Yakuza would have TG in an alley, where Yakuza is said to have unloaded a full clip into his face, leaving TG for dead, not to be found until a whole 2 days later. After the 4th, OTS had already deleted the photos they took of them all matching with TG to cover their tracks. Yakuza would go the furthest to cover his trail, going as far to create an entire fake memorial highlight on his Instagram, pretending to be sad and remorseful for the death of TG just to keep the heat off of him. However, if you look into any of the members, none of them acknowledged TG at all. People would call out OTS blatantly for backdooring TG. His death is often mocked by his many enemies, poking fun at the fact that he was missing, asking where he is. This was most associated with the song.
I was just thinking that who the fuck is TG. Alright, but look though. The part where he sold Buddy the bullshit ass gun, that's movie shit. He gave Buddy this bullshit ass gun. So if some shit did happen, the chances of him being able to defend himself is, you know what I'm saying? What else? Bullshit ass gun, the matching outfits.
Where TF is TG by PCE rapper Rundown 4. Eerily, TG unknowingly would have his killers on his profile picture still till this day. That's going to wrap up today's video. What do you think about TG? Was he the most hated guy in Dallas? Let me know in the comments below, thank you.
Thoughts on TG? I feel like TG could see how green other people were, but couldn't see how green he was and couldn't see his own flaws. Like he couldn't see his own he couldn't see how to, I don't know. I was looking for a good way to tie that in. I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, like he just went humble. He went humble and he was moving too loose. He was too wild. Like the niggas who all listen, real shit too. Like it don't even matter. You know, it's better to be a bitch, honestly. Because if you a bitch, other niggas will see that you a bitch. Real shit. Other niggas will see that you a bitch and probably won't even want to do you something because you a bitch or you humble or you know what I'm saying? And I don't personally really feel like you a bitch. It's just the world though. You know what I'm saying? You humble, you out of the way. You know what I'm saying? People might play you or feel like you a bitch. But really you doing what you supposed to do. You just minding yours and you know what I'm saying? Doing the fuck you gotta do. But the niggas who always the bullies or the real killers, the smackers, they either in prison for the rest of their life, so we never get to see them. And they might be back there and have Kool-Aid on their lips, and we would never know for real. Like that, or they end up getting killed because people are scared of them. When people feel you in the streets, they kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah. But shit, some of the other groups that didn't get killed but got finessed out of their shit by TG, they was green. Like I said, a friend of all is a friend of none. So if you see this nigga click hopping and see him dissing them and being funny towards them, you know, because I also judge people not just how they treat me, but I judge you off how you treat other people too. Like if I see you do some snake shit to somebody else, especially something that's just like so unnecessary, so uncalled for, if I see you do that shit, me personally, I'm gonna judge you out there and know to keep my distance and play for keeps with you. Just a little chill, man. All right, to the family, thank you for a little time and show to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, couldn't even post notifications. And I'm gonna go ahead and say thank y'all for 1,800 subscribers. Go ahead and say it with like 15 subs away. So we might hit that tonight. Hopefully we will. Thank y'all. Have a blessed day.